Hey LinkedIn, I saw an agency yesterday and just a few thoughts on sales and what's going on right now with, you see a lot of layoffs happening right now. People are tightening up, various different reasons for that, economic and other things going on. But one thing just from a sales strategy, sales, marketing, leadership, all those different areas, that seems abundantly clear to me is just, I saw an agency, happened to see something the other day, and I noticed that the way they sort of compartmentalize their products, or what they do, they kind of had creative and strategy and production, I think it was, and that's fine. And I understand a lot of agencies do that, a lot of companies do that, but when you're really on the front lines, when you're doing the sales or trying to drive go-to-market or pre-sales and basically get in front of an audience, win net new logos, drive sales, train your people, ultimately it's like, what does that mean? That's just kind of a laundry list of things, and that means that essentially that agency or whoever's doing that has to start from scratch every single time. And do they really know their area in terms of what they do? And the way we've built Richter is really focusing on understanding staying in our lane, understanding that we work with the B2B companies to help support the end-to-end sales journey through things like pre-sales and sales enablement and, internal communication and customer experience and all of those things driving revenue, focus on driving revenue for the companies that we work with. So it could be a lot of product pitches. It could be helping support the pre-sales side of things to make sure they get in front of the right people and drive them into sales. It could be, helping support the sales team close more of what they already have, but we're really focused on that. So every time a customer comes to us, we don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time and try and come up with a creative idea every single time, because we sort of stay in our lane and know what we're doing. So when, we're focused on that. And when you look at what's going on with layoffs and everything like that, I can't help but think that part of it is because people have kind of lost sight to some degree of the very real and vital target of driving revenue and being sort of accountable to that metric and really focusing on things that do that. And you got to do a lot of different actions. You got to brand, you got to get attention, and some things you can't totally measure and you can't totally dive into the metrics, and I do understand that. I'm empathetic to that. But at the end of the day, when you're doing the marketing side of things and the sales side of things, it can be a kind of brutal sport, because you've got to go make that happen. And certainly if the market changes, the economy changes, and things get tougher, there's no room for fluff. You really have to go and focus your energy into a very sort of linear approach to driving sales, driving revenue, because the company depends on it. And ultimately, those things just lead to you being able to deliver your product or service or whatever it is that you do, doing what you do as a company to deliver that to your customer. And I can't help but think that some of the layoffs that we're seeing is because, you could blame it on leadership, you could blame it on whatever, but somewhere along the line, people got sloppy on that or lost sight of that kind of metric to some degree. I think there's other factors as well, so I want to put that out there as well. There's various different factors, but when we started this company, it was completely bootstrapped. There was no, net to catch us. And I think I was just conditioned to be very, very, very focused on, you've got to drive sales. So you have to market, you have to drive sales, you have to win net new logos, you have to do these different things. And there wasn't a lot of room for fluff. And I think in times like this, that's especially important to get everybody aligned on that and every action aligned on that, whether it's in the pre-sales or sales side or the training side, their internal communication, any of those things. But ultimately, it can be, if your service and the way you're presenting to solve a problem is just, we do this bucket, and this bucket. When I look at that, I think, what does that even mean? And to me, it feels unfocused. But I think that I would I'd be more comfortable with a player that goes, I live and breathe this thing, and this is exactly what we do. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna do those things with creative strategy and all these different things. So, bit of a rant, but it's important right now for everybody. It doesn't matter the size of your company, small or large. If you can't tie what you're doing to sales and revenue in some way. Certainly if you're in the marketing side of things, the sales side of things, training side of things, those things have to be very, very clear. Those lines need to be very, very clear and linear as much as possible, even if it's branding or other marketing things. As much as you can tie that back and kind of show and have a linear approach to that, it's going to help, obviously, and just focus everybody around it. So thought I'd share that. Any comments, would love to hear them below. Okay, thanks.